Hi, my name is Aiden Burke, and I'm a filmmaker. After reading Hanging On to Max, I became obsessed with the societal impacts of teen pregnancy. I wanted to dig deeper into the issues of teen pregnancy and see where they're at today.
Hi, my name is Max.
Tell us about your journey.
Well, I don't really remember much from my time with my biological parents. However, my adoptive parents have told me that originally my mother gave me up for adoption, and my biological father adopted me even though he was a teenage parent, and he raised me about until I was 1 year old. However, it was in his own interest to give me up for adoption again, for a better life for myself and him.
If you could talk to your biological parents, what questions would you have for them?
Well, I think the pressing question is, why I was originally given up for adoption, not once, but twice. Another question I have for them is, in their opinion, how life could have been different had they not put me up for adoption, and had they raised me as teenage parents, either together or just with Sam alone. A lot of the time I wonder if they think about how life could have been different if they kept me, or if they would have changed anything about the situation.
Yeah, just take a second.
The last question I would have for them is why they never tried to contact me after I was given up for adoption the second time.
Why did you leave Max?
Ultimately, I felt like it wasn't my decision to make. During the time that I was pregnant, I felt so much pressure from my parents, I guess his grandparents, and things started getting worse and worse at home, so I felt like the best thing I could do was to give him the opportunity to have a better life.
Why did you put Max up for adoption?
At the time, it had been something I was contemplating. I felt like I could never provide for him. It was financially really tough being a high school student and having a kid. I wasn't really able to work, so purchasing necessities for him, such as diapers, were such a hard task. And then just after the party, it kind of felt like I was losing control of the situation and could no longer give Max the best care that I could.
Do you ever wonder what life would have been like with Max?
Of course I do. It was the hardest thing to think about. Receiving pictures and hearing about him from Sam was very hard for me to deal with. I wish I could have experienced what life would have been like with him. I feel as if I just completely abandoned them, but at the same time I did what I had to do.
If you could go back and change anything about the situation, would you? If so, what would you change?
I made the decision that I made, but of course I constantly think about what I could have done differently. I think it really started when Max was born, because even that day I was prepared to let him go. So I think my biggest mistake was never allowing myself to actually connect with him or never get that bond. So I think that's what made things, easier for me.
Why did you never try to contact Max?
When I gave him off, I felt like we should both just kind of go live our own lives, and that I shouldn't try and interfere with his, just because I felt like he had a lot of unanswered questions, or probably still does, and that it would only make things harder for him.
Did you ever try to contact Max?
No, I didn't. I felt that Max and Sam were both better off without me. I knew that Max never knew who I was. I mean, I didn't even call him that name, so that relationship was just so distant, and I felt that by me making any effort to reach out to him or contact him at all would hurt him more than it would help him. And I do wish the best for him, so I just wouldn't want to do anything to damage that.
Why did you never try to contact Max?
When I gave him off, I felt like we should both just kind of go live our own lives, and that I shouldn't try and interfere with his, just because I felt like he had a lot of unanswered questions, or probably still does, and that it would only make things harder for him.